Hey guys, and welcome back to another League of Legends video. Today we're going to be asking the question, should Riot release League of Legends Classic? And to be honest, it is quite an interesting topic, and for us old players, will take us on a ride with nostalgia. Let's get straight into it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but me and my friends have that one game during that one time where everything just seemed so perfect. Maybe it was when you guys were playing your very first game in the PS1 era, or just reliving a story that makes you feel so much at home. It's truly a great feeling that hopefully all of us can share. And as most of us know, nostalgia is probably one of the most powerful phenomenons. It creates a sort of moment where nothing else really matters as you turn back the clock and relive the past. The game or the show you were watching might not be perfect in most people's eyes, hell, it could even be bad, but it did leave a huge impact on your life, and that's all that it takes to make that nostalgia so special. And to be honest, a lot of us old League of Legends players back in the very beginning of time can probably attest to maybe watching an old video and remembering that old meta you loved, or maybe sparking a memory of your very first games with your buds where nothing else mattered except picking whatever champion felt cool and doing whatever the heck you wanted. However, to truly start things off, let's talk about what the classic version of a game really is. Well, it is simply the game before any patches, new additions, or any other content was truly added. It is, in quotes, the original game. And people might tell you that changes are good, as it improves the balance of the game, gives exciting new content, and hopefully makes the game have a larger lifespan. And don't get me wrong, I am not here to argue that, because that is indeed true for 99% of the time. But, you know, on the off chance, the opposite could also happen. With too many changes, as you fade away from the classic version of your game, it is possible that you could lead people into quitting. Now, League of Legends hasn't exactly fallen victim to that. Sure, there are some questionable changes, but I'm talking about some more drastic things. Some of my favorite games becoming straight pay to win, or just become a shadow of their former self through very bad decisions and end up dying out. I mean, a classic example of a classic game, no pun intended, has to be World of Warcraft Classic. The game has been around since 2004, and it's still thriving to this day. With popular demand, a separate World of Warcraft server was made, just set in the game that the older players would have called the golden era of World of Warcraft. One of the things that deters some players from playing the game again is because of the sheer complexity it had after so many evolutions it had gone through. But the classic version has its own charm. It still has its complexities, but it's simple enough that you find yourself in a familiar environment with a ton of fun and interesting things to do regardless. And of course, the nostalgia kicks in, and you're gonna remember that dial-up connection running home from school or work to just play a few hours of your favorite game. With some of the most iconic games in history getting a classic version, even if it isn't official, then League of Legends should also get one, right? The game is already over 10 years old, and there are a lot of players who have been slowly drifting away from League. There are a lot of factors causing this, but in my case, as a player of over 9 years, being active in 6 of those years, playing almost every single day, I stopped mostly because, besides the competitive aspect of the game, it just doesn't feel very rewarding to play League of Legends. I mean, winning is cool and all, but after that, you just don't get too much, you know, there isn't very much variety. Each game is just a grind to nowhere. Regardless of winning or losing, I sometimes rather watch other people play the game from time to time. I've recently tried to just stop and appreciate the design, community, and story, and it makes me feel a lot more casual while playing the game. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It's actually pretty chill to play now, without wanting to always just try and get that win, and having a bad game would define the rest of the day for me. And this casual feel is something that I've been longing for. getting to play with that old AP Scion in the past, one-shotting people, or using that AP Master Yi with his Q resetting after every single kill. It's just something I want to experience once again. And I'm not alone on this. The Chronoshift project is one of the innovative things that people might be looking for. Just in case you don't know, Chronoshift is a work-in-progress server software for old versions of League of Legends. Supported game clients can connect and talk to this server just like they did when the official servers for those versions were online. This enables players to experience the game as it was at that exact moment. Currently, it only works with a specific game client from 2010, but with some effort, it can be modified to support other versions from around that time, between 2009 and 2011, and further efforts can push it to slightly newer versions around 2014. Some features of the aforementioned game client come along with a few cool things. All champions up through Trundle, 65 in total, all 14 summoner spells in the game at the time, and 5 fully functioning maps. Get this: Summoner's Rift, Summoner's Rift Autumn version, Summoner's Rift Winter version, Twisted Treeline, and Proving Grounds, as well as all the items in the game. I mean, like, at the time. The server is not finished yet, although it's quite far along in its development. This means some things are not as good as they need to be in order to be allowed to play full games. Enjoyable matches, that is. These include in ascending order of most importance. Runes and masteries, most of the groundwork for them is done, but, they aren't exactly working yet. Performance, which is quite well actually, but the code hasn't been written for performance as a priority, so they've got to get it running better with, less bugs and occasional crashes. Pathfinding, which basic pathing that ignores walls works, but it doesn't take into account other units, so you got your minions stacked into the same spot or running everywhere, and this is probably the most serious issue of the project. Of course, to round that project up, the people developing this server are pretty small. They're not a big team whatsoever, so in its state, it's not exactly quite there, but the fact that it is the leading project and there even is a project is some proof for people who desire the idea. However, let's be honest, the best course of action would be for Riot themselves to step in, as I am 100% sure that as a big company, they probably have every single patch, every little update, some sort of data center that just holds everything. Hotfixes, quick updates, every version of the game, I am sure is backed up and secured somewhere. I mean, at least I would assume so considering their size. So the simplest thing would be Riot to just step in and do something. Or, let's say create something. This isn't a must, it isn't even needed for the game, but it sure as heck would be amazing, and they would watch their player count skyrocket. All the people who quit over the years, or at least a huge majority of them, would come running back just to experience nostalgia. Even if they didn't want it permanent, since Riot is pretty adamant on not splitting their player base, they could just do cool, quick events. Even that would be amazing. Just imagine like a Season 1 event where everyone plays the very first patch of Season 1 in the game, or even a beta event, or a Season 2 event, or a Season 3 event, so on and so forth, where like once a year or twice a year they just do these types of events that allow people to experience the old League of Legends, even times where I wasn't even playing it. I would love to play just a little bit of beta League of Legends. Sure, I would immediately want the newer graphics and smoother mechanics back, but I'm sure I would have a blast trying all these weird things out, and I think all of us would. It would be pretty awesome. So, in conclusion, while I would like to be able to play classic versions of League of Legends, my hope of League of Legends improving and getting better will always trump that. I would rather be playing a great game that a lot of people would be enjoying alongside me, both old and new, and still be able to enjoy that game in the moment. But yeah, the feeling of nostalgia still comes out of nowhere, and I can't help but just imagine if Riot really did that. But anyways, open up a discussion in the comments down below and let me know. Do you want League of Legends Classic? Could you care less? Have I inspired you guys with the idea? Keep me updated. Let me know. If you guys did enjoy the content itself, hit that like button, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.